Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. We're going to get this out of our way so people can see you.
I just turn it on?
Yeah, just do the switch there. Hey, and if you'd start, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll let him give a chance there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Babatunde Cole. I really want to start off by acknowledging the title of today's summit, which is a salute to our workforce. I really just want to acknowledge not just the workforce in Carlsbad, but the national workforce and all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into building this great industry. So just want to say thank you for inviting us here. So obviously, as you can tell, I'm not from Carlsbad. I come here frequently. I'm the president and general manager of our New Mexico operations. Early on in my, when I was a kid, I actually wanted to be an astronaut, and probably a different story on how I got here on this stage today. But essentially, I really enjoyed science. I read a lot of books on space and aerodynamics, and that kind of led me down the engineering path. And from there, I got into the oil and gas industry. I worked in Canada for quite a few years and moved to Houston. And I've been with Oxy for quite a few years now, and I really look forward to continuing the journey that we started here in Carlsbad. I'm going to hand over to Jeff Bennett.
Yeah, Jeff, tell us about you.
I'm Jeff Bennett. I'm not from New Mexico either. I'm from Louisiana. I grew up my whole life in Louisiana. Have a little Cajun mom and a father from the Bronx. So I apologize for my accent. It's a little different. It's a mix of New York and Southeast Louisiana.
Go Saints and Tigers.
Saints look good, and the Tigers look revitalized with the new offense. So very pleased with that. I want to thank Mayor Janway for inviting Occidental and all the different speakers and companies. I think this is a great event. And just want to say Oxy's proud to be a part of the Carlsbad and the greater Permian Basin community, as well as the Hobbs community. And we really look forward to working with both the local and the state officials to try to build a better community and a better life. Ultimately, that's why we're here, and the oil industry is here, and we're glad to be a part of it.
Well, we're glad you're here, too. And speaking of that, all of us know that you guys just completed your merger. And can you tell us a little bit about Occidental's history in the Permian Basin and how this acquisition will impact the company and its operations here?
Sure, I'd love to. Oxy's actually next year going to celebrate 100 years as a company. And in the Permian Basin, we're the number one producer in the Permian Basin, as well as in the U.S., the number one producer in the DJ, as well as the number 4 producer in the Gulf of Mexico. In the Permian Basin, we have essentially 2 business units. They're synergistic business units. One is our Permian Enhanced Oil Recovery, which in New Mexico is based out of Hobbs, and the business unit Babatunde leads, which is our Permian Resources, which is our unconventional business that is based here in Carlsbad. The unconventional business does daily produces 430,000 barrels of oil each day, while our enhanced oil recovery business produces 150,000 barrels per day. So very large businesses, and proud to be here in the Permian Basin. When we look at all the accomplishments and the achievements over the past 100 years, Oxy has really a lot to be proud of. We've built a great company by combining great people with high-quality assets. And people is really kind of the core of Oxy and really how we compete. And what I'm really excited about is not really looking back on all the accomplishments and milestones over the last 100 years, but really looking forward to knowing that our greatest achievements have yet to be accomplished, and the opportunities that are in front of us really are limitless. Regarding Anadarko, we're very excited really about completing that acquisition. I'm very pleased to be able to extend our family and include the Anadarko people and assets into the Oxy family. You know, these transactions and mergers really all center around people and assets. And with all the people I've met in Anadarko, it's very clear that we share a common denominator. We all want to compete and have a great desire to win. And I'm so excited to welcome all the people from Anadarko into the Oxy family. Then when I really look at the asset base, Anadarko had a tremendous asset base that's really situated between our New Mexico assets that Babatunde runs and our southern Delaware Basin. And these are high-quality assets that are going to provide great optionality for us to be able to create superior value regardless of where we are in the commodity cycle. The integration is going very rapidly, and I have great confidence that together, the new combined family, Anadarko and Oxy, will be able to generate really superior value over a portfolio in the unconventional space that represents over 1.7 million net acres. So our playbook will remain the same. We'll focus on basically making sure we compete as a family, that we focus on leaving no doubt that we're a leader, and focus on trying to build a better life for our employees, our contractors, and build a better community everywhere that we operate, and try to deliver sustainable returns and superior returns back to our shareholders and back to the community.
Well, it looks like, you know, with that kind of commitment and investment, the future looks pretty bright for this area and for Oxy.
We're feeling very optimistic, and you know, I can't tell you how excited everybody within the Permian Resources organization is to see the combined talents of the Anadarko and the Oxy team really forged together to become basically the next generation of Oxy competing in the Permian Basin.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. Babatunde, I need to ask you, people are concerned, people are talking about, people are wanting to know, what is Occidental doing to reduce the amount of water used in operations, and how does your company prioritize environmental concerns and reducing emissions?
All right. Thank you, Danny. Excellent question. So I just want to start off by saying we believe in one thing at Occidental, and it kind of leads into what Jeff said, is continuous improvement. So we come in every day thinking about two things. One is, how do we increase the recovery from our oil and gas reservoirs and reduce waste? And two, and how do we become better stewards of the environment, reduce pollution, and also increase water recycle? So specifically on water recycle, we'll go into a lot more detail, but our water management program consists of taking low quality produced water from our wells, recycling that, and using that in our hydraulic fracturing operations. So when you look at what we've been able to accomplish, what is really exciting for me is we've been able to reduce our freshwater usage to less than 1%. So that's really, really exciting. We've done that a couple of ways. We've done that by using technology, and by using technology, we've actually been able to reduce our cost structure. So, you know, you have a higher water reuse and a lower cost structure, and that's what we're looking for, is sustainable change. We also, in our improved oil recovery operations, we take low-quality produced water, also treat it, and inject it into oil and gas reservoirs to produce more oil and gas. So that's another closed-loop system where we can reuse water without disposing of water. One of the focuses we've had over the last few years is to move most of our products by pipe, so especially water. So we've been able to actually increase the amount of water we move by pipe, reducing the trucks on the road, and also reducing the traffic and the congestion. So we're really, really proud of that. We also use low-quality produced water in our drilling operations and as a substitute for fresh water. So all in all, we've been able to reduce our freshwater usage to less than 1%. So we're really, really proud of that. Switching to the carbon capture and emissions, which is a hot topic right now, like Jeff alluded to, we have an EOR business. We've been capturing CO2 now for over 40 years in the Permian Basin. We're the largest CO2 injector in the Permian. We inject the CO2 into our reservoirs to increase our oil and gas recovery. So we've been doing that for a while. We're not going to go into too much detail, but we have a low carbon venture business in Oxy that essentially what they're trying to do is leverage our EOR expertise, develop new technology that essentially can grow the business while reducing our emissions. So again, going back to sustainable change is when you can actually do it economically. So specifically on emissions, I just want to go into a little bit more detail. As a company, we've committed to reducing routine flaring by 2030. So it's a very aggressive goal, but we're committed to doing that. And the three main things we focus on when it comes to emissions. One is our leak detection and repair. So really what we're trying to do is use technology and science to better detect leaks and repair them timely. So we're looking at things like satellites and drones to help us in our leak detection and repair. The second thing we're doing is in our preventative maintenance program. We've gone out and partnered with third-party companies to come in and help us routinely maintain our emission control devices to ensure that we're achieving the uptime that we want to capture all the fugitive emissions. And then lastly, on the design side, we're looking at our facility designs, next generation designs, and looking how we can lower our field operating pressure and essentially capture all the fugitive emissions. So we believe all the progress we've made on water recycle and emissions puts Oxy in a very, very good position.
You got the microphone, so I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
And you might have already answered this. Let's see if we can expound on it. But, you've been expanded in Eddy County with the acquisition and other things. What can you tell us? What can we expect from the company in the next few years? Anything else you can add?
Yes, definitely. So, like Jeff said, the New Mexico business unit is part of the cornerstone of the Permian Resources Organization. Oxy and its predecessors have had oil and gas leases in New Mexico since the 1920s. So we've been here for quite some time. So, like I said, New Mexico is one of our growth assets, and we're really excited about New Mexico. Just currently, we're running 7 rigs in New Mexico. We're very active in the greater sand dunes area. We have a very, very deep inventory of opportunities to execute. So we're going to be here for a while, and we're really excited about that. So we have a new office opening next year, middle of next year. It's over 60,000 square feet. And what's really exciting is we're going to have a control room where we can actually remote monitor our operations and be able to run analytics and use technology to essentially be able to have unmanned facilities. So that's actually really exciting. It's actually we did the ribbon cutting a few months ago, and we're excited to see that come into fruition sometime next year. Also, like last year, we hired 100 people in New Mexico. A lot of them were locals. And currently, we have about 30 more openings that we're actively recruiting for. So when you ask me, okay, what is an ideal candidate for Oxy? And I'm going to go through some qualities. One is, like the first speaker said, is someone who can critically think and essentially has the intellectual curiosity to know why and problem solve. The second thing we're looking for is someone who can drive safety in our operations. So someone who comes in with the right culture, right safety culture, and is able to essentially come in and not take shortcuts and wants to do things the right way. Also, with the increased amount of automation at our facilities, we need people who can critically think and have an aptitude for trying to figure out, what went wrong and how to fix things. So all in all, you know, we're actively trying to recruit the 30 positions right now, and those are some of the qualities we're looking for. To support the community, things that we're doing is we're donating to the Carlsbad Community Foundation. We're providing scholarships to high school students to pursue further education, so we're really, really excited about that. We just made a donation to the Carlsbad Community Foundation. We're also a member of the PSP, so we're going to continue to work with that. Look out for more announcements on what we're doing. I know there's a section where we're going to talk a little bit more about the PSP.
We are, yes, sir.
We've also partnered with the Roadrunner Food Bank, and we are donating mobile pantries, and essentially through this program, we've been able to reach about 1,500 families and supply over 180,000 pounds of food. So we're really proud of that. That's really exciting. Regarding education, again, we're the founding sponsor of the IPAA Power Your Career STEM program, and essentially it serves grades 6 to 8. Last year we had over 1,100 students enroll in that program, and this year 2 schools have signed up to actually teach the program in their classes, so we're really, really proud of that. We're going to continue working in the community. We renovated the teen center for the Boys and Girls Club. That's something we're really proud of, essentially providing them a safe space so they can go in and learn different skills, character building skills and educational skills. So that's something we're really, really proud of. So I can go on things to come, but really what we're trying to do is essentially be part of you know, the problem solving and provide sustainable things for the community of Carlsbad.
Jeff, I'm going to let you finish up right here because we covered a lot already, and it's great information. You all do a great job. I'm going to ask you the same questions. The high school kids and stuff like that. Going to college is important. What about technical school? What are y'all looking for?
You asked earlier what advice you would give to you know, our young high school students, and I recently my niece is graduated from high school and is attending Kent State, and she asked me to write a letter to give her advice, and the advice I gave her was do what inspires you, and do something that's bigger than you. Make what you do much broader and much more than an individual. Do it for the community, do something that makes the people around you better. So when I really think about skill sets, the main skill set is developing a sense of selflessness and really a desire to make everyone around you better. And, you know, obviously education's important. I encourage everyone, you know, all of our youth to seek higher education, to develop higher end skills, whether it be in geoscience, engineering, technical skills. Obviously, we're becoming a digital economy, and being able to really be able to have enhanced analytical and critical thinking is, you know, very, very important. But the main thing I look for somebody at Occidental is really a willingness to help each other, to act as a member of the family, and most important, because our strategy is really centered around people, is to make sure that we're looking out for each other and getting everyone home each and every day safely. Because you can't be a family unless everybody gets home safely, and that's really critical to us.
Well, our people are the assets too.
Absolutely.
All right. Did we miss anything? Do we need to cover anything that for Oxy? Did we get everything?
I'd just like to say we're really excited about, you know, continuing in the Permian Basin. When we look at the opportunities in the Permian Basin, they're going to go on for years and years. It's not just primary recovery and the shale revolution. It'll be enhanced oil recovery in unconventional. You know, today we get the first 8 to 10% of oil in place. Tomorrow we'll be able to access that next 10 to 15% of oil. And then if you think what Oxy is trying to do with their low carbon ventures through sequestration and carbon capture, really be able to generate carbon negative fuels that will really allow the industry to create energy, but do it in a way that's actually protecting the long-term health of the ecology and the environment.
Well, great stuff. Let's give him a hand. Jeff Bennett, Babatunde Cole from Oxy, thank you so much.